Testing 1, 2. I think it's working. All right. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to your Commissioners Court of Lavaca County. This is the 23rd day of June 2025. This is your 10 a.m. regular edition of Lavaca County Commissioners Court. And with that, we will start with a confirmation of roll call. Precinct 1.
Here.
Precinct 2.
Here.
Precinct 3.
Present.
Precinct 4.
Present.
The judge is here, so let the record reflect that all 5 of us are here present and accounted for. And with that, we will stand for our invocation. We're going to pray for our nation today as they've been going through some troubles, but we're going to ask Kenny Ziegel if you'll lead us in prayer today, please.
All right, Father, Son, Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we thank you for the opportunity to serve our community. Grant us wisdom, clarity, and humility in our discussions today. Help us to seek justice, act with integrity, and make decisions that honor those we serve. Guide our hearts and minds to work together for the common good. Amen.
Amen. Now our pledges.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Good prayer. Good prayer. All right. Thank you for that prayer, Mrs. Ziegel. I don't know how many times we've said this, but what a difference a week makes sometimes. Went out for a nice quiet dinner and got the text that we bombed Iran. You know, so stellar success, apparently from our national government. A very risky operation, successful operation, just remarkable precision, accuracy. What does that do for our country? I don't know. We do not know yet. We did receive, we'll be announced, this is the announcements portion, but so let me just start with the announcement. I've got a bulletin from Homeland Security, not to scare anyone, but we're back in a if you see something, say something mode. If you remember after 9/11, when they attacked us, it was if you see something, say something, and that's the mode we're in right now. So we're on heightened alert. Your cities are on heightened alert. I stand by President Trump. I think he did what was right for the whole nation, for the world. And will there be fallout from it? Probably. But we'll have to take that as it comes. So it's kind of a historic time period for all of us, or for our nation, and not to be taken lightly. I know how hard it is to make county decisions. I can't imagine making state decisions, making national decisions on that magnitude of what it takes to be in that war room and make the call. I will say this, I saw another documentary, there's a documentary on how they took out Osama bin Laden. It's on Netflix. It's 3 episodes. It is a wonderful documentary on how, why, what they did to get him and track him down, a person who did not want to be found. And good documentary. With that, any other announcements? Public comment? Anything? Going once, going twice. All right. So, moving on to item number 2. We've got number 2, number 3. We've got 2 presentations for some supplemental insurance. If Higginbotham insurance brokers are here, make your way forward to the podium. What we're going to do is going to give each of these, number 2 and number 3, 5 minutes to address who you are, what your company is, and what we need to hear, the cliff notes. And then we'll probably end up tabling the decisions and allowing us another couple of weeks to call y'all individually if we have questions. So item number 2 is to hear a presentation from Supplemental Insurance presentation by Higginbotham Insurance Brokers, Mr. Frank, I can't pronounce that last name.
You're fine. Hedmonic.
Hedmonic. And it says, okay, it also says Ty Gunn is going to be here?
Ty is actually dealing with auto issues.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, we're going to give you the floor, the podium for 5 minutes.
Thank you.
And like I said, we're going to try to not to ask too many questions, and we'll save our questions for calling you outside of the courtroom. Thank you. So if you would state your name for the court, and then you can proceed.
Same thing.
Good morning. My name is Frank Hedmonic, and I'm with Higginbotham Public Sector. Judge, Commissioners, I appreciate the time this morning. I know we presented very briefly back in March. You guys had a very full agenda back then. But, you know, one of the things we wanted to present you with today is our voluntary benefits cooperative. This is all of your non-medical products. So anything from a dental, vision, all the way down to identity theft. If you look at page 3, I think it is right here, this is where it goes into the highlights of all of these products. And then if you look at the second page, the 25 through 27 rates, these are guaranteed for up to 2 to 3 years depending on the product. And the goal of this is to build better benefits at a lower cost. So a lot of these products compared to a Colonial or an Aflac are better in a benefits level, sometimes generally from 20 to 30% on a richness level, but in a cost savings level, they're about 20 to 30% less in cost. If you look over to the right, these are some of the services that come with this co-op. It's a proprietary online enrollment system. We do all of the billing and reconciliations. We can take some of the burdens off the admin team. You know, they spend numerous hours going through the monthly invoices from the carriers, fact checking those, you know, dealing with ads and terms. We take all of that in-house. And then we're also a licensed third-party administrator, so we actually pay those carriers on your behalf. Then if you go back one page to the left, this is a quick list of all the clients that we have in your area today. Overall, across the state of Texas, we have about 600 public sector groups, ranging from counties, cities, and school districts. Any questions?
Just one.
Good.
Is this all done on payroll deduction?
This is all on payroll deduction. Okay. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anything else? Okay, all right. Again, like I said, we're gonna keep it to 5 minutes, so you're under your 5, but if any of you guys have questions or comments, you know, or want to know more about it, is there a number they can call you? Or-
Yes, absolutely. It's all in the back.
What page is it? Like next to the last page?
Yep.
Last page.
Very last page.
The last page. Okay, very good. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. All right. That leads us to number 3, supplemental insurance presentation by Foundation Benefits. That's Mr. Jonathan Davis. Mr. Davis, at time of 10:08, we'll give you the same courtesy, about 5 minutes, to include questions in your presentation as well.
Great, thank you.
You'll state your name for the court.
Jonathan Davis, Foundation Benefits.
Okay.
So we got the presentations to you last week, and I see by some of y'all thumbing through that y'all had that already. A couple of things that I want to talk about is a little bit of the history that we've had with y'all. We have been your provider for a little over 25 years. Initially, this was brought to y'all with Allstate Benefits with Claude Barnes and Bev Osborne. Then Claude and Bev kind of parted their ways, and eventually Bev and I started doing business together. As Foundation Benefits, we started in 2018 doing that. Through that process, you know, what I want to really talk about is supplemental products is a value purchase, a whole lot more than a cost purchase, you know, because there are a lot of things with supplemental benefits, because there are a lot of moving pieces, you know. So what we really have done is work with the county to say, you know, these are the products that are the right products. And as the gentleman mentioned a little bit earlier, you know, when you do come into the Aflacs and the Colonials and the Allstate benefits that we have, those are very cookie cutter plans. And one of the things that we have done is we have moved also away from there, because we also understand that there is a significant value of going away from those larger carriers. We currently do everything with Reliance Standard. That gives us a couple of benefits in that in the claims process, there is only one carrier that we're dealing with the claims process, you know, and those tough things such as disabilities and life claims, having one place to do all that stuff is important. The other part about that that's super important is local presence, you know, and so if you look at our contact number for here, it's a Hallettsville number. We have an office here in Hallettsville. Carol, that all of y'all know, works in that office. We receive 2 to 3 walk-ins a week from county employees needing help on different items. And so having that local presence is a big deal. We have not just set on our laurels in that product. So when we came in 2018, we did just offer the Allstate benefits. In 2021, we reevaluated the benefits that were being offered, and we eventually brought in another carrier to do some of that. Again, in 2023, we had a separate evaluation again that we changed over to Reliance Standard for those products. We are at the end of the guaranteed issue period, or the guaranteed rate period, but there are going to be no rate increases for this next year either. So that is something that we work on regularly, is to keep those rates down. And so we have worked through that as well. We also have brought in paperless enrollments. As many of y'all, as we've done your enrollments personally, you notice that we do all of that online. We provide everything to the employees that they need to take home with their, to keep up with it, with their spouse as well. And, you know, just having that ability, you know, that we are coming here face to face. Not only are we meeting with the different precinct employees at the annex, but we have seen several of y'all here at the courthouse as well. We also go out to each of the EMS stations to do that. We work really hard, and also the sheriff's office. We work really hard to enroll and give every one of your employees the opportunity to say yes or to say no, because there is only one time a year that they have to make these decisions, and they're important decisions. And we think it's important to do that.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you.
We appreciate your time and attention. Okay, before we get to item number 4, well, let's just, number 4, discussed and approved supplemental insurance broker for Lavaca County to begin October 1st, 2025 for fiscal year 2026. I'm going to make a motion to table that, but before I make that motion, I want to suggest this to the group. I wanted you guys to make sure this, y'all heard 5 minutes, you can research it. Right. I'd like to survey the employees. What do they think too? Because, you know, this is something that does not cost the county, correct? No. So with this supplemental insurance, could we have 2 vendors? Could we even step out and just let employees handle it on their own? I don't know. But that's questions I have. I don't want to I hate to make a decision for employees that doesn't affect us, that they needed some input as well. So maybe a survey out to all the everyone with an email address for sure. Just do an email survey just to what.
The only comment I'll make with like letting the employees do it on their own, they do get a cheaper rate by going through the
Okay.
county as a group. And a lot of these carriers won't even do it unless it's a payroll deduction. So,
Okay.
I mean, that's just
Gotcha.
a comment that
Okay.
wouldn't benefit the employee.
Okay. Well, that's good to know. But I would like some feedback from, you know, from the employees. So maybe if you want to send that, Shana, would you do that? Okay. All right.
How many county employees do we actually have with supplemental insurance?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but there's several. I mean, especially with the life insurance.
Right.
Cancer insurance.
Okay.
Accident insurance, all
I don't want to rush a decision, in other words, that's my take, so. All right, so on item number 4, I make a motion to table approving the supplemental insurance broker for Lavaca County to begin October 1st, 2025 for fiscal year 2026.
Second.
Okay. Judge made a motion to table, seconded by Commissioner Precinct 3. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor of tabling say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion is tabled till we have further information. All right, number 5, discuss and approve TCDRS 2026 plan year assessment and contribution rate for Lavaca County. It's brought to you by the Auditor's Office, found on page 1 through 3 of your packet.
As you can see, you have the plan assessment for plan year 2026 for TCDRS. If you go about the middle of the first page, it gives your, the county's retirement plan rate at 17%, group term life rate at 0.30. Our elected current rate, is 17%. The required rate is 15. So if we leave it at 17%, like we have for the past several years, we'll have a 2% difference that will go towards our unfunded liability, which you can kind of see at the bottom. We are funded at an 88%, 88.6% of our plan, which we are inching our way up to 90 and above, which is a good thing.
Yeah. How do we compare to other counties on that?
Each county is totally different.
Right. Well, I know we've talked about it before, I mean, so going up a little bit to keep that, keep getting closer to 100%. I mean, to me, that would be the goal, is to be 100%.
Correct.
So,
I don't think there's any county out there that is funded at 100%. There could be. We did a COLA, cost of living raise, last year in 2024 for our retirees. That then puts a little bit of a liability towards us again, because it takes about 7 years to pay off that COLA we give. So if you continuously do those every year, your rate's going to just
Right.
continuously go up. So
Okay.
Okay.
all right.
Is there a minimum threshold, like 75%, or? No,
Not that
there's not, I mean,
What was the minimum rate, though? 15% is the required rate.
That's the required rate. You have to go with the required rate. Or do the elected rate as we currently have at 17%, and that is what I recommend.
So in the middle of page 1, you see the required rate is 15%, and we went to 17% to start making sure we're going upwards,
Yeah.
trending up, just to, I don't care if it's a business or county government, I do not like debt if we don't have to, so it's just kind of, I like to cover our basis, and that's just, I would love to be 100%, knowing that that's,
If you want a little more detail, you go to page 3, I believe,
mhm.
and it gives you a funding ratio for the past several years.
Yeah.
We, again, just inched our way up to 88.6. We were at 87.2, 87%, 87.6. Now we're run up 1 more percent, 88.6.
That's good.
So that little bit of a difference, and it goes towards our unfunded liability, does help.
All right. So are you recommending any changes, or to leave it
I
unchanged?
recommend
Leave it, okay. Do I hear a motion?
so move, I make a motion.
What is your motion, sir?
What do you second?
Motion made by Precinct 4 to approve the TCDRS 2026 plan year assessment and contribution rate for Lavaca County with no changes to the current existing plan. Seconded by Precinct 2, correct?
Yes.
So motion made by Precinct 4, seconded by Precinct 2 to approve continuing the TCDRS 2026 plan year assessment and contribution rate for Lavaca County as, make no changes to that plan. Any other questions or comments?
So it stays at 17%?
Stays at 17%?
Okay.
Correct. Anything else? Any other questions? If not, hearing no other questions, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. All right. Number 6 has 2 components to it, and I think we can probably knock them out in one fell swoop, but we will try here. Discussion and approve the following renewals with the 2026 TAC-HEBP. That's found on page 4. We've got 2 items that, if you remember, we tabled these items and we let the Court Advisory Committee picked that up I believe it was last week. The committee's recommending having a waiting period for health insurance coverage change from the date of hire to a 30-day wait period. And then they're also recommending the COBRA administration policy to be the Benefit Connect COBRA department. And that's a contract between Lavaca County and TAC HEBP, excuse me. And that contract, or that is found on page 4. Shana, do you have anything you want to add on those? Okay.
The 30-day waiting period will help.
Okay.
That's what I was gonna ask you. It'll help tremendously on
The
that.
30-day waiting period for health insurance, we were at 90 days, we went to the date of hire, now we're going to go to 30 days. We're going to have the COBRA policy in place by this company here. What the Court Advisory suggested then, if we ever have a scenario arises where someone can't come to work here without insurance for whatever reason that might be, then that issue would need to be brought back to the Commissioner's Court, and we could agree to pay a COBRA policy if we had to. But that'd be up to the court's decision on a case-by-case basis. So it doesn't, if we ever, again, you may have the scenario would be somebody lives in Harris County, working for the Harris County, and wants to transfer to Lavaca County, and they can't leave for whatever insurance it is. And we may just agree to, if we want that employee here, we may agree to pick up the COBRA policy. That's our discretion. It'd have to be presented to us individually. So, do I hear a motion to approve the waiting period change at 30 days waiting period and approve the COBRA administration?
I make that motion.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to approve changing the waiting period for health insurance from the date of hire to a 30-day wait period, and also to approve moving COBRA administration to Benefit Connect COBRA department. And that's a contract between Lavaca County and TAC. Any other questions or comments?
Just one.
Go ahead.
Pre-existing clause, pre-existing condition clause, is there one there? Do we know, find out?
No,
No?
we don't know. As far as like the 30-day waiting period, yeah, from what I researched, there's no 30-day waiting period. And I don't think the HR or the health insurance lady has ever gotten back to me on that.
Okay, thank you, sorry.
One of the issues I'll bring up before we vote on this was, if we go date of hire, the employee has to pay in at the date of hire to cover their dependents. And that's kind of a burdensome issue. If they have to wait, well, we go ahead and pay it. We kick in 30 days, and we've covered that for the 30-day period. So there's a money trail,
Yeah.
and it's a burden.
The administrative part of it is a burden both to our office and to the employee because of the date of hire. They want dependents to have to upfront the money. Then their first paycheck, that laptop that has to be deducted as well.
So either way, there's an insurance issue for that employee when they hire him, whether they're transferring, whatever. The other issue that came up, I think, is one time we hired someone and 4 days later they quit. And so it just wasn't, that happened. So this 30-day wait period gives a little bit of grace period for the administration side. So a motion from Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to approve those two items. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. Number 7, discuss and ratify the second 25th Judicial District Community Supervision and Connections Department and Tri-County Juvenile Probation Department's decision to move into separate managed entities beginning this fiscal year. There's no attachment to this. What we have is we had Gonzales, Lavaca, and Colorado were together in a combined adult probation and juvenile probation department. We were the largest department in the state of Texas that is still combined. The largest. That's crazy. When I saw the numbers, surely that can't be, but it was. So this has been a long time coming by Tracy Darjlek, the director, to split this into two different departments. Adult probation, juvenile probation has different rules, regs. They have to have different certification levels. It needs two department heads. And with the pending change coming with a new district, which I hate to tell the court this, but that was vetoed. The governor vetoed that whole omnibus bill on a technicality that he didn't like in there, but he promised to bring it back in the session. So it was nothing to do with us. It had to do with prosecutors and pretrial diversions, unlimited, which I kind of have a slight issue with this as well, but the governor had the issues too, so he vetoed it. He wants to go back to the table on that. I don't think that's going to change our situation. with creating a new district, we have to create that new district. Just the numbers don't lie. But regardless of the new district, this needed to take place because we were the largest. Now we're going to break us up and put us back into where we need to be for a separate adult, separate juvenile. Tracy Darzlek, let me backtrack. The Juvenile Probation Board met Monday morning at 8 o'clock. We had all our judges present. We had 2 district judges, 3 county judges on that juvenile board. We voted unanimously to make this move. There's a lot of logistical issues going to take place yet, and that'll be forthcoming. The district judges will be getting with the auditor's offices to discuss how to do this as well. So that on the administrative side is yet to be seen, but Tracy's assured us as a group, she's been a long-term employee with the probation department. She's going to oversee these changes. She's not going anywhere. She said she doesn't plan to retire for 5 or 6 years. She will oversee this change to make sure it's smooth. So that's the best I can tell you. But the board voted that change. We're asking the court to ratify it now, just ratifying that we are going to change those to 2 separate departments. So do I hear a motion?
I so moved.
Okay.
Second.
Motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1 to ratify the 2nd 25th Judicial District Community Supervision and Corrections Department and Tri-County Juvenile Probation Department's decision to move into separate managed entities beginning this fiscal year. And the process will start this fiscal year. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 8, discuss and approve certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Kathy and David Horsack. That's found on page 5 through 9 out of Precinct 1.
This is it, 2.
It's out of Precinct 2.
Yes, sir. That's mine.
Okay.
This is, 235 is just a little south of FM 532, which goes west of Moulton. So this is a family tract of ground, and they're selling 18 acres of this 39.52 acre tract to a nephew. So it meets the requirements to be exempt from our subdivision rules. So I move that we approve the exemption for Kathy and David Orsack on this tract of ground.
Second.
All right. Motion made by Precinct 2, second by Precinct 1 to approve the certificate of exemption from subdivision requirements for Kathy and David Orsack. And I might add that looks like it's got a corner front property of U.S. Highway 77 and County Road 235, correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. Number 9, discuss and approve transferring 5 radios from the Household Volunteer Fire Department to the Eazell Volunteer Fire Department. That's found on page 10. And Mr. Wick, you want to come forward and say something? If you would, state your name for the court, sir.
Michael Wick, Hounsville Fire Department. What we're doing is taking 5 of the radios that the county gave us and giving them to Eazell Fire Department to help get them up and running a little faster as they procure funds to purchase radios. This will allow them to be able to use that, so.
That's commendable by the Household Fire Department.
Yes.
That's about $50,000 worth of radios.
Correct.
So thank you for taking the lead on that. You also are an our IT department here
Correct.
in Lavaca County as well. So whatever role you played in that, we thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you, Michael.
Thank y'all.
All right. Before we get to that, vote. Do we still have the...
We need to approve it.
Yeah, but, well, you might remember, we gave permission for to go out and get those 30 extra radios, some used radios, so we'll have some more radios in play. It just won't be the brand new ones. But, and I'm not sure how we're gonna distribute those once we make that happen. But, okay, so do you hear a motion?
I make a motion.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4, to approve transferring 5 radios from the Household Volunteer Fire Department to the Eazell Volunteer Fire Department. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Again, this all takes place with FERG finding some extra radios. I think FERG agreed to purchase them with EMS funds, and then we can determine what goes out from there. We could sell those back to the departments and recoup some of our monies. Or gift them. All right, number 10. Discuss and approve an investigation subscription services agreement between Leads Online LLC and Lavaca County Sheriff's Department, as found on page 11 through 22. Sheriff, you're in the building, do you want to come forward? And break it down in layman's terms for us, please. I read through the contract, and I'm still not quite sure. But if it makes sense to you, it makes sense to us.
So I know Leads Online, good morning, gentlemen. I know Leads Online as Clear. Leads Online is the parent company over Clear. Clear is a software slash database system for investigators and other law enforcement. It's utilized to create or to do research beyond just public information, simply a Google search. It's a Google search on steroids. And so you pay a service for it, and they provide information that facilitates support criminal investigations. That's it in a nutshell.
Okay.
Feds use it, states uses, local uses it. We currently have LexisNexis. I actually just found out that LexisNexis was a paid subscription by the previous administration. Clear is far superior, and they're very compatible in price.
Okay. I might just direct the court's attention to page 18, which is the terms, service periods, and subscription fees. They've negotiated a prorate fee for the remainder of this year of $776.50. And then the next fiscal year will be $3,106 for the second year. And then I think it goes up slightly every year after that, $31.99, and then $33.91 the year after that. So this looks like it's something needed in the investigations department.
Yes, sir.
Correct?
And just to be clear, we will be dropping, with approval of the court for Clear, we'll be dropping the other one, LexisNexis.
Okay. All right. I think that'd be fine. Do we hear a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve. Second that.
Motion made by Precinct 4, second by Precinct 3 to approve the investigation subscription services agreement between Leads Online LLC and Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Thank you, Sheriff.
Yes, sir.
Next item is yours too. Number 11, discuss and approve 8th Amendment to interlocal cooperation agreement between counties and cities associated with Operation Lone Star for law enforcement services. That's found on page 23. Sheriff, do you want to say anything about Operation Lone Star operations?
So again, we joined Operation Lone Star January 1. It's a conglomerate of municipal and sheriff's departments throughout the state of Texas. We come together and share each other's resources so that we can combat transnational criminal organizations. I think what's learning's happening here is every time they add an agency, it requires an amendment. So I think they're up to around 50 some odd now. I don't mind stating to the court now, they will be in Lavaca County this week in full force. So you will see a massive increase in law enforcement presence over the next 3 days.
Okay. We appreciate that, sir. The agreement, just to make sure that so we're transparent, what they're adding to this one is they're adding Refugio Police Department, Kennedy Police Department, those two police departments to the agreement.
Yes, sir.
Refugio and Kennedy Police Departments. All right. Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion?
So moved. Second.
Motion made by Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4 to approve the 8th Amendment to the interlocal cooperation agreement between counties and cities associated with Operation Lone Star for law enforcement services. Any other things you want to add?
No, sir.
Okay.
That's the one we just did, right?
Yeah, just make sure, if there's anything else you want to add.
I think it goes a long way to protect and serve the citizens of Lavaca County. They bring in expertise and resources, frankly, that we don't have. I mean, we'll have people all the way from McClendon County. They stretch all the way East Texas. It's become a massive task force model that's doing a whole great deal of good. I don't mind saying we had to move people out of the jail to make space for individuals we anticipate will be arrested over the next several days.
So I did see your jail numbers go down drastically, so you shipped some people out. That was
We
good.
did, just to make room for the next 3 days.
And I might add, I believe we've had 107 indictments. No, 107 was we need a tote board. there was 107, I think there's 18 more indictments that were made last week. That's what I was told by James Reeves, so.
Yes, that's correct.
18.
18 more, that's obviously all felons, so, some are
So we're
currently
at one-
sitting in jail, but others are not, so.
We're up to 125 since January 1st, so keep up the great work cleaning up the county. We appreciate
Those
it.
10 went to straight detective department?
No, sir, they went to Calhoun County.
Calhoun County?
Yeah, Calhoun's our overflow right now. We sent them there anticipating the arrest that will come in the next
Right.
several days. So as not to have a log jam in the back of the jail, a bunch of chaos and potential jeopardy to jailers and others, we decided to move 10 out in advance. If the numbers aren't what we think they're going to be, then we'll bring them back immediately.
That's good. We have to have capacity in that jail.
Right.
The jail's been an ongoing issue, which we're going to address at some point in the future. I'm not sure if it's going to be this fiscal year or we start the process for next, but we have to have plans in place, period. So, Sheriff, thank you for your update on that. We had a motion from Precinct 3, second by Precinct 4. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. We appreciate you. Next one is next couple of ones are yours. Number 12, discuss and approve the bond for Manuel Franco III, Deputy Investigator. It's found on page 24 to 28. Do we hear a motion?
I recommend we approve.
I heard Precinct 2 first. Motion made by Precinct 2.
Second.
Second by Precinct 1 to approve the bond for Manuel Franco III, Deputy Investigator. Any other questions or comments? You want to say? Nope.
He's doing an outstanding job.
Great. Hearing no questions or comments, all those in favor of approving the bond, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion passes. All right, number 13, discuss and approve using courthouse security funds to hire part-time off-duty officers to serve as bailiffs in the courtrooms under the general direction of the sheriff's office. I put some agenda, there was some confusion Friday, and I'm not even sure, it was with Sergeant Diaz, who's in charge Sergeant Diaz is a deputy that's in charge of courtroom security. I put this on the agenda because there's a lot of, this may be an unknown source, but I get a lot of flack on Facebook for different things, and one of them was courthouse security that they keep talking about. Do we want to address this time, or do we have a plan in place that we're having part-time deputies come in? The courthouse security funds were for Sergeant Diaz to use to bring in deputies for our bailiff systems. So are we squared away? Huh? Okay. I just want to make sure that, I think we've been doing that, just want to bring it back to the public's perspective that we talked about it in court.
Yeah.
And-
I believe the issue has become, and it's maybe largely my fault, or in my defense, just the nature of the need to get personnel up there. So the goal was to try to get some of the individuals that were in command and jail staff out of the bailiff duties and get them back to the sheriff's office to do the duties they're assigned and paid to do. So what we did was we looked at the model that Gonzales was using, Colorado County uses to a lesser extent, and some others. And that is where you have one full-time sheriff's deputy oversees part-time individuals that are licensed peace officers that have that courtroom security specialist certification. They come in and all they do is provide courtroom security. They're bailiffs. That does several things. Number one, it provides a better service to the judges. It does so because those individuals are only doing courtroom security. They train together and they're not constantly distracted by all the other demands that come from being a jail administrator or the kitchen administrator or even the chief deputy, which is what we have to some extent now. So we tried to follow that model. We reached out and we have hired, at this point, one permanent, I guess if you will, part-timer, and that is Pete Zanotti when he stepped down from the county attorney's office. Pete Zanotti is the perfect example of what we would like to fill that cadre of bailiffs with. A retired law enforcement individual that comes on a part-time basis. We give him a salary, we carry his commission. Where I messed up, if I can, is because of need, we started pulling from various police departments throughout Lavaca County, actually beyond Lavaca County. We used Gonzales for a while. because we had a need and we filled that need. Well, what we ran into was, and Madam Auditor, you may have to help me out here, is you can't hire them as contract employees because you may have to help me. There's a problem with doing that, right? We would either have to bring those individuals on, this side I know of.
The deputies that are at Gonzales are paid by Gonzales County. They're not gonna pay them contract labor here, because it's the same type of work we're doing.
Correct.
So you can't pay them.
And we couldn't continue to do that without carrying their commission under Lavaca County Sheriff's Office. The same for Moulton PD that was in here last week, Hallettsville BD, whoever. We can't continue to do that without carrying their commission. You can only carry 2 commissions. And it becomes, it exacerbates the problem because then we have to do background checks, we have to do a whole bunch of stuff. All in all, what it comes down to is this. We are aggressively, once again, looking for those permanent part-timers, 3 or 4 of them. They will be our cadre, if you will, of courtroom security / bailiffs that will do nothing but courtroom security and bailiff duties. They will train together, they will work together, they will provide, frankly, you judge and the district judges a much better service and the public a much better service in the safety and security of the courtroom, period.
I will say this, since you took office January 1, you have given us stellar service, and you've totally revamped that system. And I see Larry Lavaca in the back. Larry's been one of the workhorses of the bailiff system here in, day out. You're here today because you needed to be here, and we appreciate you, Larry. So it's been a complete overhaul, and we've got changes to make, and so that was the point of this. And I think the previous administration, they had their top 5 people bailiffing in the court system. They had investigation.
They had as many as 12 at times. I counted them. And
Crazy.
I'm not throwing rocks, I'm just
Well-
saying, I don't find that business process a profitable or a successful business process, not one that I want to carry on.
There was no rhyme or reason to how they were doing some of this either. There was no chain of command in those rooms.
It's hard to focus, I didn't mean to interrupt, Judge, but
Okay.
it's hard to focus on the security of a courtroom if you're worried about what's going on back at the jail, or if you've got your phone constantly ringing because people are trying to get a hold of you. In fact, when I'm done here, I'll be going upstairs. And it's difficult, because your job there is to keep your head on a swivel and be prepared for any potential threat. Well, if you're constantly trying to deal with a phone buzzing or people walking in to talk to you, you're doing a disservice to those you're there to protect, period. So my goal was to get a dedicated cadre of individuals, and that's all they do is courtroom security. That's how they do it in federal court.
Okay.
And that's what I'm mimicking, and some other neighboring counties do that, and it works very well. Our issue is finding personnel.
Well, I think I want to address a couple things here today, is that prior to this, our constables were helping out in this department. So they had, their budget lines had salary, at one point they had salary, and then they had another line item for serving as our bailiffs. A couple years ago, I merged that into one, saying, well, y'all are going to have the bailiff, but I'm just merging it so the public knows you've got one, here's your salary. What I think we're going to do with the constables over the summer is rework those budgets, saying, here's your salary for being constable and servicing your JP courts. That by law, they're supposed to record the bailiff their JP courts. And then if Sergeant Diaz needs them to come work, then they should get paid extra for that by the hour. So
Then we have to pick up their commission.
I'm looking in the back of the room. Larry Lavaca is the hardest working constable that's ever worked in Lavaca County.
Agreed.
He's always here, and the other ones, and they can't always make it, but he's here, day in, day out. He's working more hours than any of them. So I think that he deserves that attention to his budget and to how we pay them and compensate them going
You
forward.
have to be careful since he's an elected official and the compensation that you have to be given. So I'm
Well-
just throwing that out there. That's not the discussion right now, but just think about it.
Well, it's part of it because how we pay these bailiffs, and we're asking the constables, we need warm bodies that are law enforcement officers to work those courtrooms. And these aren't, again, I can say this on blue in the face, this is not 1980 in Lavaca County.
Agreed.
This is 2025 when you've got some hardcore, serious drug users, and we had 4 murder suspects at one time. We got 1 convicted.
Judge Crawford's docket today is at 25,
Yeah, and
all felons. I mean,
there's two murder suspects in that courtroom today up there. So we have to treat how our security in this building differently. I'm going to point this out, and I know I'm being redundant, but again, I'm getting tired of getting what I'm going to call harassed on Facebook over some issues. When we brought you in after you served as JP, we brought you in as interim security advisor to service a court's needs because you were a trusted you were a trusted judge of the court, JP1. We brought you in as an interim temporary basis to provide better security to whatever that is, to help implement Judge Old's plan. And Judge Old and I discussed this. That was part of the deal. He had a plan from OCA to put in place. You were brought in to do that. You've been unfairly treated on Facebook for this. I've heard you were paid $90,000 for that service. Did you get $90,000 for that service?
I'm still waiting on the remaining.
I have to report today here on the record, you were paid $30,000, I think $30,100 from courthouse security funds to go put a plan together to do that. That's what the funds were, not $90,000. And
I didn't mean to be coy, Judge. No, I did not
okay, well,
make $90,000. Actually, still don't, for what it's worth.
Judge Old, it's just not Lavaca County, it was everybody in his district.
he put
Courthouse.
Judge Old asked OCA to do a security assessment for Lavaca County. Now, I can't speak for his other counties, but he did it for us. It's about a 60-page document. That was done in 2022?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah,
2021
21 or
2022 push. I know Mark Myers and I discussed that plan. I was not privy to the plan until I got sworn in office, and then we put the plan into motion. But you worked...
Those were subject matter experts that came in and assessed the safety and security that's currently being provided in this courtroom. And as my U.S. Marshal friend came in and said after he walked it, you guys failed miserably. It's like an F minus, minus,
Sheriff,
minus.
Isn't he the one that walked around for about an hour till
He
I
did.
asked him?
He worked on 2 hours before anyone asked him what he was doing, checking all the doors. I just want to bring it up, and again, my records show, because I made the auditor pull a report. You were paid a little bit of money for JP that year. We paid you $30,100, I think it was, for January 16th to August 31st. I'm not trying to beat a dead horse for that period. And then you went upstairs to work as interim investigator with the DA, who we also brought in, the incoming DA. Kyle agreed to bring in you and the DA to his office to work 4 months before you transferred to office. I've said this in court before again, but I'm tired of hearing about it on Facebook, and no one wants to get the record straight. So it's a whole other issue in itself. But anyway, I just want to bring up to the court's attention that we are using those courthouse security funds for part-time bailiffs. That's what that fund is for. You used it when we asked you to come in to do an assessment and to start working the plan, which you did, and you agreed to change this plan. So that was part of your compensation in 2024. Anyway, I'm on my soapbox, but do we have anything to discuss or approve? But I want to hear a motion. I would like to hear a motion that we can use those courthouse security funds for part-time bailiffs.
I'll make that motion to approve using the courthouse security funds to hire part-time off-duty officers to serve as bailiffs in a courtroom under general direction of the sheriff's office.
Is there a second? Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 4 to approve using courthouse security funds to hire part-time off-duty officers to serve as bailiffs in the courtrooms under the general direction of the sheriff's office. And that's either the sheriff himself or his delegated sergeant or whoever else he delegates to. All right. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you. My apologies for getting on the rant, but I've been harassed by a certain individual for about 6 months now. It's getting really old. Okay. Item number 14. Discuss and approve contract work on County Road 217 in relation to recent road construction in the amount of $8,361. That's coming out of precinct 2.
Yes, Your Honor, I would like to propose that we approve contract work on County Road 217 in relation to recent road construction there. And so the amount of that expenditure will be $8,361.
Okay. Motion made by precinct 2.
Second.
Abstain. Second by precinct 3. Motion made by precinct 2, second by precinct 3 to approve some contract work on County Road 217 in relation to recent road construction in the amount of $8,361. Any other questions or comments? We have one person abstaining from the vote, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. That was a 4-0 vote with precinct 1 abstaining. No, okay. All right, number 15. That motion passed, by the way, 4-0 with an abstention. Number 15, discuss and approve the annex parking lot demolition plans, including the TxDOT sidewalk project and removal of existing and unnecessary power lines. I do not have an attachment. Just for court's record, we did close on the annex property, the old fur building and the property adjacent to the tax office. We've got a power line in the middle of it. It was on the old subway pole. That needs to come out. The line needs to come down. The power line to the fur building needs to come out. And I'd like y'all to approve that, so we can get the city of Houseville involved with that. I want to discuss timeline of what we're going to do on the property. TxDOT now they're happy that we purchased it. They said if we'll remove the building, they'll put a 5-foot sidewalk in now on that stretch. So it'll be a nice wide 5-foot sidewalk from the corner by the fur building all the way to the flower shop. And then that's going to start around April of next year. So we would need to have this
sidewalk project will be
the sidewalk. They want to have a ground ready project with the building gone. I don't think we have to remove the concrete, but they can remove the concrete. But again, we could probably get the whole property. The concrete needs to be removed,
Right.
and the building needs to be removed. I think that's the general plan. But we have not made formal plans. We have talked about in executive session. We talked the negotiations were executive session. We came out within a special meeting to approve the purchase. We approved the purchase. We have now made the purchase. It is our building. It is our property. So we haven't discussed what we're going to do, how we're going to do it. Discussions that we have been making is that we would take the whole ground back to the dirt, make an entrance onto Dodge Street from the annex parking lot up front, possibly put the tax office a drive-through window. That was in the original annex plans. I think, Edward, you pointed that out.
Yes, sir.
Edward, maybe find the original annex plans. There was original plans to have that property. We just never had it. So we need to start the process. It starts with demolition, though, I believe. Y'all have any ideas or suggestions? You've got metal on that building that's probably usable. You've got wood inside the building, and then you've got rocked bricks.
Sometimes just for liability reasons, it's better just to put it all in one pile.
I get it, but do we want to go out for, do we want to see if someone wants to pay us to do this? I mean,
Well, that's true, but from here on out, I mean, I'd like to table it and now come up with a plan. If we got till April,
okay.
you know,
Well, I would say, do we want to go have some time to look at the property again and see what's inside there? Is it salvageable? What's salvageable? Questions?
Are we just, we're going to just hold this from the parking lot, or we're going to?
Right now, well, we can do whatever we want to do on this, but I would like to walk out of here with at least, allow me to call the city and have them remove the power lines. We do not need the power line attached.
yeah, that'll work.
Yes.
And we need to identify the water lines to that property. Where is that? And have it cut off as well.
And then if it's, I don't know, that building, it should have a septic system too, or a line going to the city.
Yes.
You're gonna have to get all
Identify
that
Yes,
deleted.
that needs to be, okay, so, for now, I would like y'all to go, again, and look at the project, see what y'all think, to come back to make a vote, whether, do we go out for bids to have someone pay for the materials? In other words, they could pay us, if they paid $1,000 or paid $100 a bid, they would take the metal out and the wood out, and then leave us with all the rubble to haul off, which would be easier. That's what I'd like to see. I think the metal is
We can
usable.
do it.
But for right now, I'd like to, I do hear a motion for me to call the city to have them remove the power lines and identify the water and sewer lines.
Basically utilities.
Yeah.
Would they just say?
Yeah, maybe, shut off all utilities and take out, remove any excess lines. Do I hear a motion?
Yes. Second.
Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2, to approve allowing the judge to, allowing the judge to call the city to remove the existing power lines and identify and shut off the water and sewer and gas lines. And then we'll come back and I'd like y'all in the meantime to be looking at the project to see how y'all think it should come down, and can we do the work, or do we need to sub it out? All right, so I have a motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion passes. All right, number 16, discuss and approve using contingency funding to hire temporary personnel for the AgriLife Department. I put this on here. Shannon DeForest asked me to announce that Jennifer Steppick plans to retire from the AgriLife office by December 31st. So there'll be an opening. He would like to be able to hire someone this summer to start October 1st and then work with Jennifer for 90 days, October 1st through December, so that they can properly train. She's been there, I don't know how long, 24, 27 years? She does a lot. And I think I would agree with Shannon that he needs some help there. So what we want now is, I need approval that he can hire someone to start October 1st. We can put budget in there during the budget season, but we also have temporary funding. We have,
Your Honor, I move we approve a contingency funding to hire temporary personnel for the AgriLife Department.
okay, second. All right. Motion made by precinct 1, second by precinct 2 to approve using contingency funding to hire temporary personnel for the AgriLife Department. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. The motion passes. All right. Number 17, discuss and approve the cost of co-hosting with the City of Hallettsville and the Golden Crescent Regional Planning Commission to host their annual meeting held on August 27th, 2025 at 6 p.m. That meeting has been booked for Blaze's Place, is that correct? Natalie and I met with the city and Golden Crescent. Golden Crescent's going to pick up the food costs. I'm going to go out and look for people, someone to donate money for adult beverages. And then all we would need to do is partner with the city of Hallettsville to pay for the hall rental. And you might remember how much that was, Natalie? Like 500 something? It's like $500 or $600 total, and then we would split that with the city of Hallettsville. This would bring judges and city council from all over the area, from all over the Golden Crescent to Blazes Hall on that evening. About 150 people will be invited. I'm not sure how many tickets we'll get. Myself and Wayne sit on that board. But if we have extra tickets, the city of Hallettsville and the county would like some extra tickets to invite other guests. But anyway, it's our annual meeting. So I just need permission to split the cost of the hall rental. Do you hear a motion?
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
Okay, I heard precinct 4 and precinct 3. Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the cost of co-hosting with the City of Hallettsville, the Golden Crescent Regional Planning Commission annual meeting held on August 27, 2025 at 6 p.m. And that's going to be held at Blaze's Place, and that will be to split the cost of the hall. Any other questions or comments? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Number 18, discussion and approve road plan and paving updates. Do we have any updates from the court?
As far as I know, we're fixing to, Precinct 4 is getting his material delivered. Well,
The local.
I don't know where it's gonna be delivered.
Just
but
closer
when it gets
locations
there,
so we can get
we
the
will
work
be
done.
going.
So I've heard y'all have had issue, you're gonna go pave a certain road, but you have a problem where you're gonna stage at and host,
Well, just get material closer.
getting materials closer to the job site?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what we're working on. We're hauling some material.
Okay. Sounds good. Like you said, I want to hear that y'all wore the tires off that new paving machine. That's what, can't say it enough. No, I'm being redundant. All right, any other updates? Anything we need to approve? All right, hearing none, we're moving on. Number 19, consent agenda. Unless a member of the court requests a separate consideration of any items, all under the consent agenda are considered to be of routine nature or have been previously deliberated by the court in an open meeting and therefore may be approved by one motion, second, and vote. Do I hear a motion
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion made by precinct 4, second by precinct 3 to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor of approving say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We are in consent. Our microphones will go off until we are out of consent. All right. We are out of consent. Last but not least, everyone's favorite agenda item is number 20, announce the next meeting or meetings. Our next court meeting will be July 14, 2025. We will have, after that, a budget workshop on July 23rd, 2025, a budget workshop from 9 till noon, scheduled for the Commissioners Court. And that will not be live streamed on July 23rd. Any other questions or comments? Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
All right.
I'll second that.
Motion made by precinct 3, second by precinct 2 to adjourn. All those in favor of adjourning, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. See you on July 14th.